Welcome to Redbeard and the Den of Tools. Howdy ho, guys and gals, it's Red, your friendly neighborhood tool bear, back again here in the Den of Tools. And let's be honest, the tool talk this month is about the icon toolboxes. That's what everyone's been talking about. All the interwebs are abuzz about it. And the biggest question besides when can we get our paws on it is how much is it going to cost and how are we going to be able to afford it? And we're going to talk about that right now. We're going to tell you all the ins and outs about the new Harbor Freight credit that's coming down the pipe. So sit still and we're going to get into it, all right? Now the first thing we need to talk about though is the price. How much is the price going to be? We disclosed that in a video, but this was, let's be honest, it was from a document from last year. It was an internal document. And we knew that things were going to change. They were probably going to go up, and then the tariffs hit. And there's just no two ways about it. They had to deal with that. And also there was probably some feature creep and everything else. So we're looking at, somebody did disclose that there was a price of $10,000 that they said for the total unit. That's for the full system, work center, overhead, end locker, end cap, and the hutch, whole 9 yards, 10 grand. Is it going to be that much? I don't know, but we're going to find out here shortly. They said they're going to officially disclose the price middle of the month. We're getting real close to that. That said, one of the discussions that was going on was that's a chunk of change. Who has that much cash just sitting around? I certainly don't. Being a bear, I like to keep my assets in a different liquid form, if you will. I got my stockpiles in honey. Now, just to be sure, the spot price on honey has been going up and up, and I'm feeling pretty secure in this investment. But that said, you don't want to be raiding your whole stockpile for something like this, and you may be deciding you want to finance it. Well, Harbor Freight's got you covered. All right, they're going to be coming out with their own form of a credit card. This is going to be in-house credit card, usable at Harbor Freight only. You're not going to have a Visa or MasterCard on it, but it's going to be your typical kind of revolving credit kind of system. That is, you buy something, if you don't pay it off by the end of the month, you accrue credit or interest on it, just like any Visa, MasterCard, anything else, Macy's card, any of those kind of in-house cards. That said, if you do spend over a certain amount, you will unlock a certain feature. That feature is the 0% interest easy payment plan. Now, there's going to be different thresholds for this. I think it starts at $300 is what they're figuring out. And it may be 3, maybe 4. But the point of the matter is, if you spend over this, they're going to give you the option of, hey, would you like to set this aside on the interest easy payment plan? And what that means is you're going to get 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, or 36 months of 0% interest. That's going to depend. That length of time is going to depend expressly on how much you're spending. If you're spending $300, you're not going to get the 36-month payment plan. So now, how does this apply to the tool cabinets? Because that's really what we're here to talk about. You will be able to use this for other things in store. Say you want to buy a mill or a wood chipper or something else. It's going to be applicable for all sorts of things. Which, from a business standpoint, if you're a business bear like myself and you want to itemize costs and all that stuff, that's not a bad feature to have. It's always nice to be able to put it on one credit card, then you can go back and go, look, these were all business expenses. So if I was running a crew or something, this might be something worth having. That said, we're looking at cabinets here because that's what the big discussion is about. So we've got here the icon cabinet. That cabinet, let's guesstimate. We're going to guesstimate. If the whole thing was 10 grand, guesstimate the cabinet, and to be honest, I think I edged a little bit up on it. It may be less. It may be more, but we're going to, I tried to err on the side of overestimating rather than underestimating. So $3,350. That's the working number. Now you're looking at 0% interest on this, and you're looking at 36 months of payments of $93. That's it. One and done. Okay, now let's talk about Snap-on, because this is being compared against Snap-on. We're talking about tool truck comparisons. That's what the whole discussion's about. Everyone's talking about, what about this? All right, so Snap-on, let's be sure what we're talking about at Snap-on. This is not compared against the Epic. The Epic's a whole nother line of tools. This is most closely related to the Master Series. If you look at Harbor Freight's advertising on this, the stuff I showed you in the last video, they clearly called out the Master Series here. So, and there we're talking about the KRL 722 series, which has a list price currently of $6,945. Now, so say we get one of these, all right? And let's say you catch the Snap-on guy shopping at Harbor Freight, and you hold that over his head, so he gives you a screaming discount to keep your muzzle shut, and you only pay $3,350, which is, that's a big fish store. I mean, I've heard people telling me about how cheap they got a toolbox off the truck, but that's pretty cheap, all right? Right there, you're looking at 50%, and that's pretty much unheard of. But you know what? For argument's sake, let's start there, okay? That's 36 payments at 20%. Now, there's two forms of financing over at Snap-on. There's their standard revolving financing, just like we're talking about here with Harbor Freight. And then there's the on-the-truck financing. Now, the on-the-truck financing, that's more like a bartender going, sure, I'll let you run a tab, okay? On these big box items, on stuff over $1,000, unless you're married to his sister, that doesn't normally happen. Now, I'm sure there'll be people going in the comments, well, I finance blah, blah, blah. That's great. I'm sure you have a great relationship, and I don't know how long the two of you have been dating, but just because you have a special relationship with your dealer doesn't mean that we can talk about that as what everyone else, the regular person, is going to deal with. So cool your jets. We're talking about what most people can expect to have. People always like to say, well, I got this. That's great. And I'm sure you found $100 in your sock drawer, and you're very special, and your mom told us so. Great. Moving on. So the point of the matter is, you're now looking at a total payment for this box of $4,481 and some change. That's a hefty chunk of change. But let's be honest, most of you aren't that special. Most of you are going to haggle and try to get it down. He's going to be like, tell you what, I'll give you a sweetheart deal. I did some shopping around. I did some checking. And the average price people are paying for this chest is $4,860 or thereabouts. You again, that 20%, you're looking at 5 years if you want to get a reasonable payment. 5 years, $128. That's a total payment for this box of $7,725. Check my math. Maybe the bear's wrong, but, I used a calculator and everything. That said, let's compare these two boxes. We're talking initial, price plus interest. Well, there's no interest on the Harbor Freight Icon box, but there's 20% interest on that Snap-on box. So you're paying $3,350 versus $7,000, or almost $8,000 there. Let's say you sell this box later down the road, and you get half the price or thereabouts for it. You're looking at selling that box for about $1,500 or $3,863. But wait, that's half the price of what you paid. You're not going to get half price on that. You're not going to get that for your sale price. You're looking more at $2,430. That means you're out $1,850 on the Icon box, but $5,295. Let that sink in. That's how much, because people like to make this argument about, well, I can sell the Snap-on box later. Sure, you can, but you've already paid that interest. You're out more than the cost of the box originally. You're negative at this point. There's just no two ways about it. When you do the math like this, when you're honest about the numbers, the Icon just comes out to be a better deal. The maths don't lie, man. You're at best case, even if you paid cash for that Snap-on, you're still negative $2,430. The maths don't lie. They just don't. And I've done a lot of research on this. I've done a lot of research on how much these sell for. Here's one local, $2,700. I've looked all over the interwebs and stuff, and I've been in the forums and the Facebook posts and everything else. I've talked to Snap-on guys. This is how much they sell for. We're just being honest and fair here. Now, if you say, well, I'm going to buy a used one, that's fine. That's fine if that's what you want to do. Now you're paying $2,700 cash. You're not getting to finance it, and you're not getting any warranty on it. If you want to sit there and say, well, Snap-on has a lifetime warranty, that's lifetime on the original purchaser only. You don't get that buying it used. And if you say, well, I can weasel it out, or I can just call Snap-on, they'll just do it anyway, that's fine. It's also fraud, and if that's cool with you, if that's your ethics of you're going to lie to somebody, some business, I'm sorry, I don't know. That's just not the way this bear operates. If I buy something used, it doesn't come with a warranty, I don't try to lie to the company to try to get them to cover the warranty. That's not the way we do business here. Anyway, moving on. A lot of these same people will then try to say, well, that U.S. General won't be worth anything. Man, we all have the interwebs. We can all go on Craigslist and see how much these things are selling for. We've all been around the block. This U.S. General is probably older than most of you guys complaining about this stuff, and it's still selling for $325. Will he get that much? Probably not. But the guy asking $2,700 for the Snap-on box, he's not going to get that much either. You know, I love it when people try to apply discounts to the box they don't like, but then they claim, or they try to just ignore that the box that they want is not going to get discounted as well. You know, and that brings us up to FUD. Now, FUD is an acronym used in some online communities, some discussions. It stands for people who spread fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And I'm sorry, but we're in no FUD zone here. We don't do that. We're honest about all our numbers. We're honest about the situation. I get a lot of people out here trying to spread rumors that, well, you know, it's going to be hilarious when people start getting their Harbor Freight icon boxes, you know, repoed because they couldn't make the payments. Guys, were you not listening? This is a revolving credit card. That means this is unsecured debt. You probably need to Google the concepts of secured debt versus unsecured debt. Unsecured debt is like any charge card, and they can't come and take the stuff away that's just not in the contract. There's not going to be any, you know, Harbor Freight, you know, repo team, you know, big old rednecks like this dude here coming to take your box away. It just ain't going to happen. Yeah, you should make your payments, but worst comes to worst, there's no one going to come take your box like they will with Snap-on, because that stuff does happen. Google it on YouTube. See how much you like that. Another one is, Harbor Freight can't build good tools because they never have. Grizzly, please. There's no Harbor Freight factory. Do you look for one? See if you can find it on Google Maps. Let's see. Search around there. There's no Harbor Freight factory because Harbor Freight doesn't build the tools themselves. All right? They outsource that to other people. They could hire the best tools or best factories they want. You know, it's the funny thing is they could be buying, you know, Snap-on tools, slapping their own label on it, and people would still be saying this kind of stuff like they can't build good tools. Oh my gosh. You know, remember, these are being built in, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, they're built in China, so they're not any good. China, the same company that has, you know, put what is essentially a supercomputer in your pocket. Yeah, they can build that, but they can't build a sheet metal box. Really? Do you honestly believe that kind of stuff? You know, and they're like, well, it's designed, you know, the people at the iPhone and stuff, they're like, well, they're designed in the U.S. The engineers are in the U.S. What do you think this is? Harbor Freight's based in California. They have a whole design, engineering, testing team there. Where do you think all these designs come from? You know, they're not coming from, you know, Hong Kong or something. They're right there in Southern California. Now, you can say what you want about Southern California, and I might agree with you. But the point of the matter is, you got to be fair in these arguments. You got to be rational. You got to be reasonable. It just, you know, the people like these fanboys, you know, they want to say, well, you know, there's like, well, you're just stupid for shopping at Harbor Freight. And then people ask them, well, how many Harbor Freight tools have you tried? They're like, well, never. I'd never go into Harbor Freight because Harbor Freight sucks. That's something we call circular logic. All right. If you haven't tried the tool, you don't know whether the tool works or not. You can't sit there and say it's a bad tool if you've never tried the tool. Now for the bad news. This is not likely to hit until first quarter 2020, maybe even a little bit into, you know, second quarter. So the boxes are going to launch here at the end of this month, beginning of next month. Unfortunately, there's not going to be, you know, the credit system. They got to get that stuff rolled out. That's a big deal. That's a big undertaking. I understand it. It just sucks that it's going to take so long. So anyway, that's the ins and outs on the credit system that's going to apply for Harbor Freight, their in-house credit. I can neither confirm nor deny whether the Bear has one of these boxes in his shop right now. But that said, some people on the interwebs do have some of the Icon tools, and you should go check them out. I want to mention Redemption Garage. They've been doing a whole bunch of stuff on the Icon stuff. They got been doing unboxings and some demos. Also, our good buddy Justin Dow. Love the stuff what he's doing over there. He's got a whole different set, I believe, of Icon tools, and he's been demoing those. He's got the Flex Head 90-tooth ratchet. I know that, and that's one thing I've been looking to get my paws on. And then also, you know what? While you're at it, if you want to get a different viewpoint, hey, go check out Justin Sturgill Trucking. Sorry if I mangled your name there. The Bear's not good with names. But you know what? He's not a fan of this stuff. He thinks it's kind of ridiculous. Go get another point of view. See how it works. You know, see if the math adds up for you. Anyway, that's all the bear has for you today. If you got any questions or comments about this, if the bear skipped anything, be sure to check down the comments right down below. Be sure to chomp the old like button. It's right down there. I know you can find it. It's right like in this area over here. Just chomp it. Chomp it. And so chomp the like button, subscribe, ring the bell, and you know what? Share with a friend or two. That's a great way to support the channel. Nothing better than sharing a video to help support the channel. Anyway, enough rambling from the bear. You all take care. Have a great day. God bless each and every one of you. And as always, say it with me. Shine on.